Your income will never consistently outgrow the quality of your conversations. The most successful people I know, and I know a lot of them, they aren't smarter than you. They aren't luckier than you. They're just way more intentional about what and who they let into their mental environment every single day.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I am grateful for the really high quality friends that I have. Like, it has not always been this way my whole life. I've had stages where I had convenient friends, meaning the ones that just happened to be where I grew up. And then I had stages where I had like business friends, the ones that you were friends with just because you're in business with them. But at this stage in my life, I've got really good curated friends, ones that I would do anything for, and I know that they would do that for me. So that's what I'm grateful for today. And if you're like, what in the world is this guy talking about? If you're new here, I start every one of my solo episodes with kind of a demonstration, leading by example, saying what I'm grateful for, because I truly believe that everything starts with gratitude. It's the foundation for which you can jump from. Most of us have more going in our favor than we think. We just never stop to realize it, to take inventory of it, as I always say. So stop, take inventory of what you're grateful for, add it up, write it down. You're going to realize you have a much better foundation than you typically give yourself, what's the word I'm looking for here? Credit for, that's it. Than you typically give yourself credit for. And speaking of high quality friends, I want you to think about the most recent conversations you've had with your circle of influence. I want you to think about the last 10 conversations that you've had when you've kind of been out and about, whether it's with your friends, whether it's with acquaintances, whether it's with neighbors. We all, every single day, have conversations with people, some that we choose, many that we don't. Now, when I say I want you to think about your last 10 conversations that you had, I don't mean like your board meetings. I don't mean your coaching calls if you're like a coach or you're getting coached. I don't mean the podcast that you're kind of half listening to. It doesn't really count as a conversation. I mean the casual ones, the ones where you're at dinner with people, the ones, like I said before, where you were at the gym or in the parking lot or at the, I don't know, waiting in line somewhere, something like that. Because I'd be willing to bet that those conversations are either quietly building your business and your wealth and your empire, or quietly burning it down and you don't even realize it. Let me repeat this. This is really important. I truly believe that your most recent conversations are either quietly building your empire or quietly burning it down. And most of you, here's the worst part, have absolutely no idea which it is. Because just like gratitude, like I started out with, you've probably never stopped to take inventory of this, right? Of course not. When do we sit and take inventory of our conversations? But if you do, it might be kind of eye-opening. So that's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to give you a simple exercise that I call the 10 Conversation Audit. I ran it on myself this week. I do it quite often. And what I find is fascinating and honestly, really validating. I'm going to walk you through how I do my own self-audit, literally what contributes to my success, hoping that this is valuable to you as well. Because here's what I know to be true after years of building lots of businesses, some great, some not so great. Also, keep in mind how many entrepreneurs that I've coached and seen their businesses and how it goes. And keep in mind, I've invested in over 20 different startups, some great, some not so great. So here's what I know after all of that experience. Your income will never consistently outgrow the quality of your conversations. Let that sink in. Your income will never consistently outgrow the quality of your conversations. So let's kind of do a quick self-audit here, shall we? Don't be afraid. It doesn't matter where you're at. It only matters where you go going forward. So let's do a quick little audit here, if you will, of your most recent conversations. So here's something that most entrepreneurs get totally backwards. They're hyper intentional about their content consumption. Like you're very hyper intentional about listening to this podcast or somebody else's. And I also know that most entrepreneurs are reading the right books. I also know that a lot of you are taking courses, right? That's all intentional stuff. But then I also know that most entrepreneurs walk out the door and they become completely unconscious about, let's call it your conversation intake. But your money mindset isn't just shaped by the content that you choose to consume. It's also shaped, maybe even more so, by the noise, by the data, by the quality of your daily conversations, the throwaway stuff, the stuff that you right now just think, kind of in one ear, out the other. You think it's not registering, but it absolutely is. And it's having an impact on if you're growing your empire or if you're accidentally sabotaging your empire. It affects your energy. It affects your mood. It affects your outlook. It affects your effort. It affects everything. So I'm going to give you kind of like a simple framework, if you will. And there's really two types of casual conversations when you leave the house. There's expansive conversations, not expensive conversations. Those are the ones I have with Lori. Just kidding. Kidding, babe. Just kidding. No, expansive conversations. These stretch your thinking. They expose you to new opportunities. They normalize bigger numbers. They leave you energized and lit up. You hang up the phone, you walk away from the table and you feel like you just got bigger, you got a new idea. Those are expansive or expansion conversations. And then there's contraction conversations. Contraction conversations, just like it sounds like, cause you to contract, and sometimes you don't even know it. These complain or are full of doomsday info or gossip or people who play small or quietly pull your attention towards fear and scarcity. And you walk away from these conversations slightly smaller and slightly less motivated than you arrived. Sometimes it registers and sometimes it doesn't. That's the dangerous part. Nobody really stops to take inventory of this or talk about this. Contraction conversations don't feel bad in a moment. They don't feel toxic in a moment. They feel kind of normal. Like, God, that was casual conversation. They feel comfortable even sometimes. They feel like, well, we're just talking about the world, about life, about whatever. That's exactly why they're so dangerous, though. You don't feel the drain. You don't feel the result, the contraction, until they add up over time, slowly chipping away at your results. So let's do this today. Let's kind of add it up. And I mean literally add it up. Here's what I want you to do. And by the way, when I say here's what I want you to do, I don't mean just keep listening. I literally want you to grab your phone, open your notes app, and write down your last 10 casual conversations. Not work calls, not scheduled meetings, the real casual interactions, whether it was going out with friends or whether it was with a random person that you were standing next to at the gym. Even I guess you could count texts or voice memos if there was a lot of back and forth there. The conversations that you didn't choose to have, but they just kind of happened to you. That's what we're really taking note of here. So grab your phone, open up your notes app. And for each one of the last 10 conversations, and yeah, you're going to have to kind of think about this. So literally picture working backwards. What was the most recent casual conversation I had? What was the one before that? What was the one before that? So for each one of these, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Did this conversation expand or contract my thinking? Did I leave it more energized or more drained? And number 3, did it open a door or did it quietly cause me to close one? Let me repeat these 3 questions for each conversation. Did this conversation expand or contract my thinking? Number 2, did it leave me more energized or a little bit more drained? And number 3, did it open a door for me? Or did I kind of quietly choose to maybe close one or not walk through one? And I want you to score each one of these. Ready? It's real simple. It's either +1 or -1. There is no 0. So put a +1 for any expansion conversation, put a -1 for any contraction. There is no neutral. Every single conversation is growing you or shrinking you, okay? So write down the last 10 conversations you had, and then just put +1 if it's an expansion conversation, right? Left you expanded, energized, opened a door for you. Or put -1 if it was a contraction conversation. And then add up your score. Now, if you are in positive territory, and the more positive the number, obviously the better, then your conversation flow, if you will, your surroundings, your environment is working for you. If you're somewhere around 0, +1, -1, +1, -1, +1, -1, you're close, but you're not there. Like you've got some neutral noise to kind of cut out, if that makes sense. Now, if you're in the negative, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, and some of you are going to be surprised by this, then you've got work to do. If you're in the negative with your score, you've got work to do. And this is the first part of the work, awareness. So let me walk you through some of mine, because I did the audit right before I did this, and I wanted you to see kind of what it looks like in practice. I'm not going to give you all 10 of them, but I'll give you the last, 5-ish or so. So just yesterday, there's a guy who takes my car valet every single day at the gym. Love him. He's so nice. And somehow we got onto the conversation of Amazon arbitrage. He's kind of ambitious. He's doing a little side hustle. So I pull up to get my car, and he starts telling me about buying and selling on Amazon. He buys these chargers from China, and he sells them for a profit. And he's been doing it with lots of different products, and some work really well and some don't work as others. And he was complaining about the cost of shipping is kind of eating his margins and all that stuff. But overall, he's done really well with it. Like he's got this dialed in. Now, most people would smile, especially because it's the valet guy, and kind of nod and be like, oh, that's cool, and forget about it. But not me. Like I take the time to stop and listen to what people are saying, because that is how I have the pulse of what is working and what isn't and what is going on in the world. So I leaned in. His name is So. It's short for like Soul Earth or something like that. But I asked Soul some more questions about this. I wanted to understand, what were your margins, dude? Like, wait, how much do you buy at a time? And do you have an opportunity to buy a lot more of these? What do you mean like shipping is eating up your margin? Like, is it still profitable? Is it not? Where do you see it trending? I asked him all of these questions. And the information I got from it made me say, you know what, dude? If you can show me some data, like if you can pull up all of your results and show me real data on how it's going, I might be open to giving you a little bit of money so you can buy more products at scale and make a little bit more, and we could split the profits. And I come across opportunities like this all the time because I take the time to lean in and listen and look for opportunity. Okay, so let's call that conversation number 1 as I'm working backwards. Conversation number 2, dinner. We went out to dinner with a couple very recently, and we spent basically the whole entire meal talking about a new joint business venture that we have. For some of you that listen consistently, others of you probably haven't really caught on to this yet. We haven't made a big announcement, but we took ownership, a small chunk of ownership in a peptide company. And you're going to be seeing us doing a lot of work with peptides because they have changed my life ever since I had my stroke. They've given me my brain back, the speed of thought back, my ability to process things back. And physically, like it's helping me kick a lot of ass too. So we're at dinner and we're talking about how to sell our business for $500 million. Not if, how. Like, what is the plan? How do we work backwards from there? What's the roadmap? What does the infrastructure need to look like? What kind of strategic acquisition? Like, who would be attracted to buy this? What's the timeline? All of that. That was the conversation. Not how was your day or what's happening on Netflix or, any of those things. I guess not to poke fun of them, but at the end of the day, your conversations really are either adding to your dreams or they're subtracting from your dreams. And you can have a nice neutral conversation that's enjoyable, but it's still not adding to your dreams. Does that make sense? And here's the thing that I want you to understand. That kind of dinner doesn't just happen. It was a curated environment. Like Lori and I choose who we spend our evenings with. Lori and I choose who we do business with very intentionally. Because we know that a lot of the dinner conversations that you have, a lot of your friend conversations that you have is really just like a quick mini mastermind. And it's either adding to your goals or it's not. So that's a big +1 for me. So if I was scoring my conversation with my valet guy, so that's a +1. That dinner, that's a +1. Here's another one, the gym. I was talking to an exotic car dealer about 3 days ago there. And I don't know, I can't even tell you his name. I see him there all the time. He always pulls up in these great cars, and I know it's his business, and I love exotic cars. So, I always ask him about it. Well, he sells about 50 exotic cars a month. And I'm talking like high-end Rolls and Lamborghini and like unique stuff. $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 cars. So he sells about 50 a month, he said. Now, I don't care what business you're in. Somebody who moves that kind of high ticket volume at that kind of pace absolutely has something to teach you. They can teach you about sales. They can teach you about building like trust or camaraderie. They can teach you how to create an experience that makes someone comfortable with writing you a $500,000 check for a car over buying it somewhere else. Like, there's so much to learn from a guy like this. So I made it a point to talk to him when I see him. And I asked, hey, what do you think of the economy? How's it affecting you? What do you think of the sales process? Like, what do you do different from other people? Where do you find your buyers? What does the relationship building look like there? And then I realized, oh, wait, he's doing it with me, right there in the gym. So I buy my next car from him. So that conversation was worth a lot. And the few that I've had with him are also worth a lot, right? They're like real live master classes, except you don't have to pay for them. You just have to be interested in people. So there's another +1. My concierge doctor, he and I had a big texting conversation. And we're talking about the classic car business. He loves classic cars. I love classic cars. We also love new ones. And so we're talking, and it started by us sending a couple of cars from Bring a Trailer back and forth. And then me saying my dream when I sell Frello is I'm just going to open up the most beautiful warehouse you've ever seen. Yeah, here in Southern California. And it'll have a coffee shop that somebody else runs inside of it. And it'll be where I keep all my inventory. You can rent the cars. You can buy the cars. You can borrow them for photo shoot, rent them for photo shoots. You can just come and hang out there. It's going to be a vibe. And it's a way for me to have a really fun space that I want to be in and a really fun space for other people to be in. But at the same time, hold my inventory, and I'm going to sell it on, Bring a Trailer and other auto auctions. You name it. Like, there's a million ways to market this. Anyhow, he was fascinated in this. And he's always wanted to do something like this as well. And so we started sending a couple cars back and forth like, hey, man, why do we have to wait for the warehouse? Like, why do we have to wait until we spend a few $1 million to start this? Why don't we just start splitting a few cars ahead of time? And just, if they sell, they sell. If they don't, we drive them and enjoy them. And so, like, there's a brand new business idea that said, instead of me waiting to sell Frello, what if we just started buying our inventory right now, a few bargains at a time as we see them? And if you split them, it's not so bad. Like, that's the cool thing. You can get some really cool classic cars for 40, 50, 60 grand. So it's only 20, 30, 40,000 bucks a piece, not even, in order to start building up a little inventory. And I call it functional inventory. You get to drive it and enjoy it while it sits out there for sale or while it sits out there for rent. And then let's do the fifth conversation. If I'm doing my own audit, I was talking to somebody, and he said to me, he's like, hey, I've got a great opportunity. If you can lend $750,000, I've got a guy who just needs to pay for the rest of his inventory. It's already pre-sold, and there's $150,000 profit in it to anyone that gives him the $750 in 3 to 4 months. So let that sink in, like 20% return in 3 to 4 months, not annually, in 3 to 4 months. Lend someone 750 grand, get the 750 back, and make 150 profit in 90 to 120 days. Now, I'm going to be pretty transparent with you. I don't think I'm going to do this deal, because every time I've seen these deals where it's a sure thing, meaning it's inventory's already pre-sold, I just need the money to get the rest of the inventory, and I've already got 75% of it, and blah, blah, blah. There's a reason somebody else isn't paying for that inventory, or there's a reason why the business person themselves doesn't have the money for the inventory. And not to say that it's not a real opportunity. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't want to take that kind of risk, because there's too many variables. The economy can change. The deal can fall through. Like, his sales channels can dry up. And what's my collateral? The shit that he is buying to sell? Well, if he can't sell it, I sure as hell can't sell it. So it's probably not for me, but it's an example that I'd consider this a +1, because it's an example of opportunities when I just have these casual conversations, opportunities finding me. All right. So you do your audit. Are you in the plus territory? Are you neutral? Are you in the minus territory? It doesn't matter. You can do things about it going forward, right? You got your score. Now what? So 3 very simple things. Number 1, be the one who changes the subject. Remember, there's 2 people in every conversation. If someone is starting out down a negative trail or a trail that's not feeding you, change the subject. You've got more power over the direction of the conversation than you think. When things aren't going the way that you want to go, or it's maybe going towards gossip or complaining or fear mongering or something like that, then flip the script on them. Ask them, hey, you know what? I've been meaning to ask you, what are you most excited about right now? Or where do you see the most opportunity right now? Or in your world, who's making the most money right now? What are they doing? You can turn that conversation yourself. One question. So first thing, be the person who changes the subject. Second step, curate your casual environments better and the people in them. Like if you go to a gym full of broke people, try and go to a gym full of motivated entrepreneurs. If you go to a coffee shop where it's a bunch of starving artists, go to a coffee shop where all the business movers and shakers are going. You kind of see what I'm saying here, right? If you got a group of friends and yeah, they're really fun, but they're always making money mindset jokes and all this other stuff, well, maybe it's time to trade some fun for some inspiration and real like doers as friends. Curate your casual environments and the people in them. And the third thing you can do, run this audit that I just taught you every single week. Every week, last 10 conversations, +1, -1, +1, +1, +1, -1, +1. And your goal is, can you have a positive score every week? And can you improve your score every week? And you're going to find, measure what matters, right? Measure what matters. And all of a sudden, the quality of your conversations are going to go up. And then your results in your business and your money mindset and your financial situation and your opportunities, those are going to go up as well. So guys, the bottom line is this. And I really, really hope that you understand me here. Your income will never consistently outgrow the quality of your conversations. I opened up earlier saying that. Your income will never consistently outgrow the quality of your conversations. The most successful people I know, and I know a lot of them, even people that are like the biggest up and comers in our masterminds. Every mastermind has some people that are kind of barely coming along and other people are on a rocket ship. The people on the rocket ship in our Mentor Collective Mastermind, the people on the rocket ship in our elite level mastermind, the people I know that I make investments with, people I know just casually through the show, through social media, they aren't smarter than you. They might be smarter than you in some areas, but they're not overall that much smarter than you. They aren't luckier than you. They're just way more intentional about what and who they let into their mental environment every single day. And it starts with the casual stuff. It starts with the seemingly innocent stuff, the stuff that you think doesn't count, the little interaction here and the little interaction there. How many interactions are chipping away at you, or how many interactions are wasted because you're not leaning into them, asking the right questions, and turning it to have the right conversation, like I did with like I did with the guy who sells you exotic cars, like I did where I got the opportunity to invest $750,000 and make $150,000 on top of it. You get to steer your conversations and you get to control your environment more so than you think. It all counts. So run your audit. Send me your scores. Guys, literally run your audit and DM me at Chris W. Harder your scores. I freaking love when you guys reach out after podcast episodes. And by the way, if you do this, I'm going to dust off my old saying from back when the show used to be called For the Love of Money. When you start doing this consistently, that's when good people like you will make good money and can do great things. And I'm always cheering you on. By the way, if you want to be in a more supportive environment, we're doing these little mini tranches, if you will, allowing 10 people at a time into our Mentor Collective Mastermind. That's the mastermind that if you have a business under $1 million, you want to be in that one. It's our online one where you have calls every single week. We put all the coaches you would ever need on salary so you get them for free as much as you want for the entire time that you're in it. It is the most supportive mastermind on the entire internet. Swear to God, there's not a one better. All you have to do is ask the members. We have people that tripled their revenue in their first few months just from one idea. We have people that have cut their cost basis, like what it costs them to run their business, in half in the first month. We have people that have added brand new 6-figure product lines in their first couple of months. I mean, I could sit here all day telling you what happens in there. So if you want to get in line so that you're part of the group of the next 10 people that we let in, and by the way, the reason why we let 10 people in at a time is we always make sure we have the right number of coaches to members, because you literally get unlimited coaching. Unlimited. You get to reach out and use them as much as you want. So if you want to be in line for the next 10, right now at the end of the show, go to chrisharder.me/mentor and put yourself on a wait list. Again, that is chrisharder.me/mentor and put yourself on the waitlist. chrisharder.me/mentor. All right, guys, run your audits. Send me your scores on Instagram. Love talking to you. Thanks for listening. Always love and appreciate you.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.